What is going on, everybody? I hope this video finds you well. Thanks for stopping in Robin's Nest. Today on this video, I want to address some of the FUD, I guess you would say, or maybe misinformation is the better word, regarding what would happen if Three Arrows Capital went insolvent, what they would do with their tokens. Because all over Twitter right now, everyone's talking about how, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to hold any tokens that Three Arrows Capital is holding, because as soon as they go to sell, it's going to just absolutely obliterate the price of those tokens. And this is like a big thing, and people who don't know any better are like, oh my gosh, they're right, like they're just going to sell all these tokens. So I wanted to help you guys maybe give some clarity on how a fund that big would go about selling their position, because it's not as detrimental as you guys might think. And for the most part, most of the big selling that was going to be done by Three Arrows Capital already happened. They've already been liquidated on most of their positions, so that is already past. The rest of what they hold, for the most part, is a lot of locked tokens, a lot of tokens that are illiquid and they can't just market sell. And typically they wouldn't market sell them even if they were liquid, and I'm going to explain more on that. But again, this is all if Three Arrows Capital doesn't get bailed out by somebody, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, and if they truly do need to liquidate everything they have to pay back investors, etc. Most funds that are as big as Three Arrows Capital are, they don't just go to an exchange and market sell a 9-figure position. Okay, that's way too big. What would happen if they market sold that is that there's just not enough liquidity on any exchange to absorb that kind of selling. There's not enough buyers. So if they did that, it would drive the price so low that their average sale price would be like pennies, and they would just not, it wouldn't even be worth it for them. They would lose so much money. So what they typically do when you have a position that is as big as some of the positions that they hold, so again, they're 9-figure ETH positions, they line up other big investors to and funds to buy those tokens over the counter. So they never even really hit an exchange. An exchange might broker the deal, so you might have someone like Alameda or FTX that would broker the deal for them. So they would say, okay, Three Arrows Capital has $100 million worth of ETH they want to sell. Let's go find a buyer. And then they would get someone who's big and can match that weight. So they might go to someone like A16Z and say, hey, A16Z, do you want to buy $100 million or some of $100 million worth of ETH that Three Arrows Capital is selling? And that is how these deals are typically handled. Well, why would someone want to buy it that way? Well, A, they might see that Three Arrows Capital is distressed, so they might be able to buy those tokens for less than the market price. So, they might say, okay, we'll buy some of that, but we're only willing to pay you $800 an ETH or something like that. Which is still a better price than they would get if Three Arrows Capital again went and just market sold their tokens. So they may be able to do that. And just the same way as you can't go and just sell a bunch of tokens on an exchange, you also can't market buy that many tokens in one click either. Because if you do that, what will happen is the price will spike so high that your average buy-in price will be way above market, and you'll be underwater for a while. You'll have to wait for the market to really turn around to see a return. So just like on the sell side, the buy side is similar. They need, this is an opportunity for an exchange to take up a larger Ethereum position that they might be interested in without having to worry about slippage, is what they call that, due to liquidity on exchanges. So this is how most of these deals are brokered and how they're handled. So they've never really even hit the market like many people are expecting. It's not like they're going to go and, oh my God, you're just going to dump $100 million worth of ETH on the exchange at the same time. And I'll tell you what, if they did that, get your pocketbooks ready. I don't know why I said pocketbooks. That's such old talk. But get your bank accounts ready to buy some ETH, not financial advice, but this would be the mindset that I would be having, because odds are it'll drive the price so low, you'll be able to make almost an instant return on that. So again, this is why they don't do that. Again, the cost on that is just ridiculous. The opportunity, the miss out that they would get is just silly. So, again, I'm not trying to, could we see some negative price action due to this? Yes, but not necessarily in the way of them market selling. Again, I think a lot of their positions that were at risk of market sales were the liquidations that have already occurred for the most part. So, it's really just handling the tokens that are vested at this point, that, you know, again, are mostly handled over the counter with other big investors. And what that'll do is, of course, that'll bring those investors that buy, that'll probably average them down. So, you know, maybe they will be more apt to sell later on. But again, usually when they sell, it's usually by selling it to another big investor. And if they do sell on the market, they do what's called a TWAP typically, which is just like it's an algorithm that just sells a little bit at a time. So it just kind of chisels away at it, which allows the market to kind of eat up the sales without really causing a major detriment to price. As long as the buy side stays strong, then it's fine. So again, just wanted to address a lot of this FUD because I've been seeing it all over Twitter, and I think most people don't understand how this actually works and what has already happened with Three Arrows Capital. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.